Okay, welcome back to the channel. Hope you guys are doing good. So today I'm going to be talking about one of my favorite topic in photography, which is lighting. Let's get it. Hope you guys are doing good. Welcome back to the channel. So yeah, I'm going to be talking about lighting, probably my 4 go-to setups in photography, especially for beauty. And I'm going to be breaking out how I shot it, what setup I used, if I can remember the settings I used for the photos itself. But yeah, let's get it. So the first one is gonna be split lighting. So what you might be curious what that means itself, but split lighting is pretty much from the name. It's pretty much splitting the highlights from the shadows. That's it. And I'm pretty sure you can see this in a creative setup, especially when you're trying to play around with the lighting and the highlights and shadows. This is very common in studio photography. If you really have a good understanding of how lighting works, you can always have control over the shadows, how much shadows you want in the photo, how much highlights you want in the photo. But usually when I use this technique, I actually use hard light. So what I do is, I'm gonna have probably a breakdown photo to show it. But what I usually do, as you can see, is I have a light, a hard bulb light, and most usually on the left side of the subject, and I have the subject facing the light itself. And then I just take a black V flat. I don't know if I have one at home, it's probably at the studio. And I just take a huge black V flat, and then I put it close to the subject, and then it gets like a straight line on the subject face. And then what that does is this side is completely dark, this side is completely bright. And when I'm in Photoshop or Lightroom, I just increase the exposure just to make that lighting a little bit more defined, if you know what I mean. But yeah, that is just one way I use split lighting technique. Another way is, say I put a softbox to my right side, and I just have a huge white softbox, and then I split it. So it's pretty much like towards the side, the light goes up, hits dark side. So yeah, I'll have a image showing how it is, but that's pretty much a split lighting technique. The second one is actually a self-made one. I'm pretty sure it's used outside, but it's a self-made one, and I give a name for it. And it's an inside joke with the creatives that I work with, but it's called the box. So what this is it's a huge V flat, and what I do is I put it close to the wall, especially when it's natural light. So this is a natural light setup, and what I do is I have the subject close to the wall, close to the box, the V flat, and then I put the V flat, the other end of the V flat, close to the subject. So let's say, for example, if you're a beginner photographer and you don't really have much, how you can easily do this is, if you have a white fabric, put it against the wall. So what that does is that helps diffuse the light. So that diffusion is, it helps transition the hot spot on your foot. No, that's wrong. So the diffusion, what it does is it makes your light softer. So if you go outside during the day and you stand outside and you have the light on top of you, you can see the hard defined shadows, and you don't have flattering shadows. But if you take a reflector or a white fabric over that person's head outside, what it does is it diffuses it, so it makes the light softer, so it makes it more flattering. So if you're at home and you don't have a big V flat, what you can do is just take a white fabric, $8 or $2 or something, and then hang it towards the window so it's completely white. And then what it does is it diffuses it. And then the next step is you can either have like a cardboard or like another white fabric to put, or even towards a wall. You can put the model against the wall and then shoot towards it. If you have a reflector, you can use that to fill in the shadows, but pretty much that's about it. That's pretty much what you need to do the box. But the box is just using natural light to create fill and to create softer light to get a more flattering result. And then my last setup is probably the popular one that everyone knows. It is the clamshell lighting. I use this a lot when I do beauty, and breaking in simple terms is you have a main light, a fill light, and a backlight, like a background light. So if this is for more like the advanced, I do have a minor way you can do it too, but this is more if you have at least two strobes, a minimum 3 strobes to get the perfect result. So what it is I'm gonna have a picture to show it. It's a overhead. Yeah, you have an overhead light. I usually use beauty dish. You can also use a main light, umbrella, but what I use is a beauty dish, and I have it pretty much in center to the forehead of the model, and I'm probably like around 2 to 3 feet away from the model, and then I have it facing down, and then I have a reflector under under the model to create like a fill. And then I have one light in the back, usually with a softbox, and then I use that as the background light. I don't really have, I believe I have a video I'm actually going to show you, so it shows what it looks like exactly. But yeah, that's one of my favorite setup. That's called a clamshell lighting, and it's pretty very known in photography itself, and it's probably one of the two setups that people usually start with. So yeah, I'm gonna have a couple photos just to show this different technique. So as you can see, the first one that I talked about, which is the split lighting, this is an image I shot with it. The second one is the box that I called it. There's a bunch of images that I've done with it, and the last one is the clamshell lighting, and here's a couple images that I've done. I'm gonna throw in one more. This is just a personal setup that I use, but I'm gonna wait till the next video. But I'm gonna be talking about gels, and gels is one of my favorite stuff to use in photography, favorite techniques to use. If you go on my website, you can see so much gel setup that I've done. Link is gonna be in the bio. Check it out, let me know what you think. But yeah guys, I have a video coming up soon. I'm gonna be doing a breakdown of how I actually edit photos. Let me know what you guys think, and I'll catch you in the next one. Like, comment, subscribe, and stay safe.